Have you ever noticed that water signs seem to find each other? A Cancer meets a Scorpio and feels strangely understood. A Pisces meets another water sign and feels comfortable almost immediately. Even when they have completely different personalities, there's often a sense of familiarity that's difficult to explain. Why? What do Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces recognize in each other that other signs often miss? While most conversations happen through words, water signs are often focused on something else entirely, the things that aren't being said, and that may be the secret language they all share. The secret language of the water signs begins with one simple habit. They pay attention to emotional information. Imagine someone says they're fine. Most people accept the answer and move on. A water sign is more likely to notice the pause before the answer, the change in tone, the fact that the person's behavior doesn't match their words. That's because water signs tend to treat emotions as information rather than background noise, and Cancer often notices who is hurting. Scorpio notices what doesn't add up. Pisces notices the overall emotional atmosphere. They're looking at different things, but they're all focused on what's happening beneath the surface. This is one reason water signs often feel familiar to each other. When they meet someone who naturally pays attention to the same layer of reality, it stands out. Not everyone notices the mood of a room. Not everyone wonders why someone suddenly became quiet. Not everyone senses when there's more to a story than what's being told. Water signs often do. And when they encounter that quality in another person, they recognize it almost immediately. This is also why water sign connections can feel unusually intense. When most people meet, they spend time figuring out whether they like each other. Water signs are often trying to figure out who the other person really is. They're interested in what shaped someone, what motivates them, and what they're carrying beneath the surface. As a result, conversations can move past small talk surprisingly fast. A discussion that starts with everyday topics can suddenly become personal, not because anyone planned it that way, but because water signs are naturally drawn toward depth. The interesting part is that this doesn't always create comfort. Sometimes it creates vulnerability. It's one thing to be listened to, it's another thing to feel understood. Many people are used to showing only certain parts of themselves to the world, but when someone notices the things they weren't trying to reveal, the experience can be unexpectedly powerful. That's why water sign connections often leave a lasting impression, not because they're perfect and not because they always work out, but because both people feel that something real was recognized. So, what is the secret language of the water signs? It's not mind reading or a mystical ability to know exactly what someone is thinking. It's the habit of paying attention to what exists beneath the surface. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces may express themselves differently, but all three understand that people are more than the words they speak. There are emotions behind reactions, experiences behind fears, stories behind behaviors. And when a water sign encounters someone else who sees the world that way, there's often an immediate sense of recognition, not because they've known each other for years, but because they're asking the same questions, looking in the same places, paying attention to the same things. Maybe that's why water signs seem to find each other so easily. They're simply listening for things that most people never think to hear.